Welcome. Today we're diving deep into one powerful chapter from the biblical book of Psalms, Psalm 10. And it tackles one of the toughest questions out there. When it really looks like injustice is winning, why does God feel so silent?
So let's just get right into it. The psalm doesn't start with some neat and tidy declaration of faith. Nope. It starts right where we so often are, in that place of confusion, asking a really raw, honest question when hardship hits.
And there it is, the opening cry of the psalm. It feels so modern, doesn't it? It's the voice of someone looking at all the chaos and just crying out, God, where are you in all this? Now, what's so important to get here is that this isn't a cry of disbelief. Not at all. This question is born from a deep, deep longing for God to step in. It's an honest place to start your faith journey in a troubled world, and it's a question God is not afraid for you to ask.
So, okay, where is all this trouble coming from? Well, the psalm doesn't just leave us hanging with the question, it gives us a really clear diagnosis of the problem. And it all boils down to one thing: pride.
What's fascinating here is how the psalmist defines the worldview of the oppressor. It's not always someone who says there is no God. Instead, it's a kind of practical atheism. They just live their daily lives as if he doesn't exist. He doesn't factor into their plans, their actions. He's just irrelevant.
And from that root of pride, you get this whole portrait of the oppressor. They are completely self-deceived, totally convinced that they're untouchable. Their words are weapons, full of deceit, and just like a lion, they stalk the vulnerable in secret, looking for an easy target. And this verse just perfectly sums it all up. Pride is the engine here. It creates a life where God is intentionally pushed out of the picture, ignored, and just completely left out of the equation. That's the real foundation for all the injustice that comes next.
All right, but here's where things start to turn. The oppressor's whole worldview, their confidence, their cruelty, it's all built on one central lie. A single fatal miscalculation about who God is.
And wow, this slide captures the dramatic pivot of the entire psalm. Just look at the contrast. On one side, you have the lie the oppressor tells himself. God is forgotten. He's not looking. He'll never see. But then on the other side, you have the truth that just shatters that lie. No, you have seen it.
So that's the game changer. The wicked person's entire confidence is built on this fatal assumption that their actions are secret, that they're unseen. But the psalm declares, loud and clear, that they are dead wrong. Nothing is hidden. God sees everything.
Now, the psalm doesn't just stop there just saying that God sees. It goes on to tell us what he does because he sees. In response to all this injustice, God takes on a very specific, very powerful role for the victims.
In the ancient world, being fatherless was about the worst-case scenario. It meant you had no social standing, no legal protection, no one to look out for you. You were the most vulnerable person in society. And that is exactly who God reveals himself to be the ultimate protector for. He is the helper of the fatherless.
This verse is such an incredible assurance. It's saying that when you feel completely powerless, when you have no one else to turn to, you can entrust your entire self to God. He is the one who actively, personally takes up your cause.
And here it is. This is the ultimate source of confidence that wraps up the whole argument. The power of the wicked, no matter how big and scary it seems, is temporary. It has an expiration date. But the reign of God, that is eternal. It's absolute, and it will always have the final say.
So this is all great, but how do we take these ancient truths and actually apply them to our lives today, especially when we're going through our own times of trouble? Well, this psalm actually gives us a practical blueprint for finding that unshakable assurance.
Let's break it down into 4 simple, actionable steps that we can take, drawn right from the emotional and spiritual journey of Psalm 10.
First up, and this is so important, just be honest. It is absolutely okay to ask the hard questions. Don't hide your feelings. If you're confused, if you feel abandoned, tell God exactly that. True faith isn't about pretending. It's about bringing your real, messy feelings right to him.
Third, you have to make a conscious choice to anchor your faith in this foundational truth. God sees. This one truth is the direct antidote to the lie of the oppressor and the fear in our own hearts that our suffering goes completely unnoticed. It doesn't. He sees. And finally, let that truth lead you to a place of rest. You see, your ultimate security isn't in your circumstances changing overnight. It's in the unchanging reality of his eternal kingship. Justice will come because the king is on the throne.
So we end with the question this psalm leaves us all with.
When injustice really seems to be winning, where are you going to place your trust? Is it going to be in the temporary power you can see right in front of you, or in the eternal King who sees absolutely everything? That choice? Well, that's the heart of what it means to live by faith.